Every update brings along changes presently in the game, right? But most updates also lay the foundation for what's to come, progressive builds of the game in the future that sometimes can't be untethered to an earlier published version. That's the very basis of how people can data mine things and get ahead on information that may still be a few weeks to months out from the public introduction. This week with Season 4 Reloaded, that was no exception. We already saw that there were some leaks in regards to the rumored Modern Warfare 2 campaign early access, but surprisingly, or maybe unsurprisingly, that's not the only stuff we ended up seeing leak out of the mid-season update for Warzone Season 4. Today we're going to be breaking down 3 new weapons we'll see introduced, as well as a handful of operators, and what we know about an upcoming crossover event for Season 5 that looks to kick off everything here for it. So as we go along, drop your thoughts down below. Are you looking forward to any one thing in particular? Any certain weapon, any operator, the event overall, or maybe just looking forward to all of it? Whatever the case, drop your thoughts below, but if you guys enjoyed the video, you find it at all insightful, do me a favor and drop a like on the video. And if you're new to the channel, do be sure to hit the subscribe button to stay updated with all things Warzone, Season 4 Reloaded, and beyond into Season 5, Modern Warfare 2, and anything Call of Duty related. And finally, do be sure to check out my friends over at Gamer Advantage for the best blue light glasses on the market, but more on them in a bit. All that said though, let's talk about these leaks for Season 4 Reloaded. So the information at hand today comes from Reality UK, again, one of the most prominent data miners right now in the community here. He ended up digging through the game files for Season 4 Reloaded, and again, with that he found weapons, operators, and hints of a new event upcoming. So let's start out with some of the more bigger ticket items here, if you ask me, the things we'll interact with on a regular basis, the weapons. Now, he found 3 here, and with only 1 season left, it seems like these will be the Season 5 weapons, but he ended up finding the FN2000, also known as the F November 2000 in the game files, the E-Mike-1 or EM1, and the K-Gun. Now, the FN2000, well, that's an interesting one because that is the F2000, or potentially classic F2000 that we saw back in Modern Warfare's original trilogy. And it makes it seem like we're kind of gearing up towards Modern Warfare 2, but doing so in the current mainline title for Call of Duty. And my mind immediately goes to what we saw with last year, however, in Warzone. Before Vanguard launched, of course, we saw the STG-44 and the M1 Garand added into Warzone for players to use as not only just a promotional piece for the upcoming game, but all of your progress for that in-game, it worked towards your progression in Vanguard as well. You could rank up the STG and the M1 fully, and on day 1 have all the attachments done. You could then grind out all the camos you wanted for either of those. You didn't have to worry about any of the ranking up process, but again, as we know, looking back, that in theory was awesome, but the execution on it wasn't that great. The STG-44 and the M1 had a ton of issues tracking progress, mostly on camos. I mean, it was to the point where it was after Season 1, almost into Season 2, if I want to say, where the camos for the STG finally tracked for those players that ranked it up. I know that I ended up getting Atomic without getting the STG Gold because it was bugged for that long. I just used the Cooper in place of the STG. So post Season 1 for sure. Now, as for how or canonically why this would fit within the storyline right now, well, that's where it's kind of weird. I know Vanguard right now isn't quite in the same World War II year that we saw back whenever the campaign started and everything like that. So canonically, we've kind of gone along that timeline a little further. And in Warzone, we end up seeing that Caldera matches apparently take place in June of 2022. Rebirth of the Dead takes place in July of 2022 after Season 4 Reloaded. Fortune's Keep was introduced, taking place in September of 1976, so we're kind of outside of that World War II era for one, and number 2, kind of all over the place. But that opens up more avenues perhaps for more modern day introductions, which could tie into another thing we'll discuss in a second. Next, the EM1, that is apparently going to be the predecessor of the EM2. So what we saw in Black Ops Cold War, you might be able to think relatively along the same lines here of that. Slow firing, heavy hitting as a weapon, packing a lot of damage in per shot, but also being a more skilled weapon to use. But it's kind of weird that we'll see this again given so close to Cold War, but we'll come back to that in a second because the K-Gun was one that not many people knew initially, but then it dawned on people, Reality also tweeting this, saying that it would make sense to be the KG-99 or the Tech-9. It was denoted in the game files as a pistol, and of course the Tech-9 being a pistol, that does check out, the KG-99 being another denomination here for that, so potentially a predecessor, a remake of a weapon, and effectively, if all things go according to plan, a total of 3 of the final 4 weapons from the Vanguard Chapter 3 era for Warzone would have been either remakes or based on prior weaponry when we consider the Vargo S, again, was the sort of predecessor to the Vargo 52 that we'd see within Black Ops Cold War. So Very familiar weaponry, kind of just rehashing it, which is kind of a bummer if you want something new here. And of course, there's still a ton of weaponry that we did not see from the actual World War II era throughout the entire Vanguard year of support. Stuff that was even in Sledgehammer's last project of World War II. So like, seriously, why didn't it come over? Some stuff even being in the campaign as weaponry, but never coming to multiplayer either. So that is your weapons here, but very curious on all of these. I would be really cool with if they drop a couple of weapons here early of Modern Warfare 2 in Warzone, either in specific for Warzone or in Vanguard as well, where you could rank up stuff ahead of the launch of the game, but we'll have to wait and see how that all plays out. But that's the weaponry. The operators that were leaked, we covered this briefly here, but it seems like they're now more so confirmed for Season 5, those being Raul Menendez, Gabriel Rourke, Khaled Al-Assad, and Seraph. Now, 3 of those, as we talked about the other day, I really don't get where they'd fit in the story, why they'd be introduced, but it seems like we're getting some legendary villains or foes introduced here with Season 5, and one also tying into one of those blog posts detailed in Season 4 Reloaded, stating that there would be a familiar foe returning soon as another pre-order bonus. That is also reflected in the game files now here for this, because Khaled Al-Assad does end up having a bundle that does say you'll end up getting this immediately with pre-purchase of Modern Warfare 2. So kind of a separate bundle you can end up getting if you don't want to pre-purchase or pre-order, but if you end up doing that, you end up getting it for free as an extra additional bonus. So it seems like all 4 of those operators will have some bundles across the next couple of months here, but come Season 5, we'll have to see where they break down and where they end up coming into play. The final thing I want to talk about here out of these leaks is the new crossover event that was teased and found in the game files, because there were bundles found for an Umbrella Academy crossover. Now, there are a couple of different references with each of the bundles, but one of the details in the game files ended up denoting a little bit more information here, because it seems like we'll have 2 bundles here at this, because there's a reference to an exclusive legendary KGM blueprint for purchasing both the coming bundles for the crossover, similar to what we saw with the Kong vs. Godzilla event bundles. But it also stated there's an end date of September 30th. So if my memory serves me correctly, that also kind of went along with the same case of the Godzilla vs. Kong bundle, where we saw that actually kind of last a little bit longer than the event itself, but then also the cutoff being like a new seasonal update here. So if I were to guess, we might end up seeing an event jump right into another event here, with the Terminator and Iron Trials Titanium event being a Terminator themed thing, ending with Season 5, but then Season 5 kicks off where maybe on the 24th to the 7th of September, we end up seeing those bundles and that sort of limited time event happen, but then also September 30th likely being that mid-season update for Season 5. Also then effectively saying, hey, we don't have a Season 6 for Vanguard, if that wasn't apparent enough as is. But it'll be interesting to see for sure. I like these crossover events. I like what we saw here out of the last couple of years, and I would really be curious to know what happened, though, to that Captain America and Indiana Jones crossover that we saw leaked well earlier in the year. I think that would have been really cool to see, but that seems like the only one that would have been scrapped, because we saw things data-mined like the Godzilla vs. Kong event, the Attack on Titan crossover, those bundles there, the Terminator stuff, now the Umbrella Academy. So I wonder what happened with those other ones. But that said, that is the leaks here that we learned about with the upcoming content for Season 5 out of the Season 4 Reloaded update. So before we wrap everything up, a reminder, check out my friends over at Gamer Advantage. I've been talking about them nonstop probably for the last year and a half or so, and I still swear by them. I will absolutely always champion for them. If you're working on a PC, looking at any sort of screen for a prolonged period of time a day, chances are you've felt the effects of blue light in some way, shape, or form, whether that be eye fatigue, disruptions in your sleeping patterns, whatever the case. I've felt it all personally, so over the years trying to find that perfect pair of blue light glasses, I'll tell you, man, Gamer Advantage absolutely is them. I can confidently say that Gamer Advantage is my advantage. It helps out my productivity, helps my sleeping patterns, and effectively combats against the blue light that I end up battling all the time working at my desk 24/7. Gamer Advantage is absolutely head and shoulders above any of the generic pairs you'll find on Amazon. Their comfortable, durable, and lightweight frames make them a great choice for all-day use, and their lenses are clinically proven. So if you guys want to check out their website, learn more, they break down the science way better than I ever could. But check them out, link in the description below. If you guys would like to pick anything up for yourself, use code Espresso to get yourself 10% off your entire order. But that said, that's what we're going to call it. So I'd love to get your thoughts and feedback down there in the comment section down below. Looking forward to any of these specific leaks, any weaponry, any operator, the new event, whatever the case, feel free to let me know. But if you enjoyed the video, you found it at all insightful, do me a favor and drop a like on the video. And if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss a single thing regarding all things Warzone, Season 5 upcoming, and of course, anything Modern Warfare 2 here as we gear up towards what hopefully is a reveal sometime soon. But for the time being, if you'd like to stay up to date with any of the other stuff, I'd love to have you in the community. But that said, thanks so much for watching. My name is Espresso. I'll see you guys later. Take care and peace.